authority. And the next branch of government cannot intervene into that authority. And what are the authorities plainly spelled out? Just few authorities. The executive make the law. I mean the executive, let me say make the law. The legislature makes the law. The legislature makes the law. That one can teach our children in how they call it, in school. The executive enforces the law. The legislature interprets the law. It means that no branch of government can interpret the law. That's separation of power. The judiciary has interpreted the law. The executive should enforce the law. The law made by the legislature. Because even a constitutional referendum has to pass through the legislature first before an amendment. So the legislature made the law. Oh yeah. The Constitution of 1986. A constitutional referendum has to be agreed by the legislature. Then the legislature will send it to the public for amendment. So the Supreme Court, under the doctrine of separation of power, has interpreted the law. So no branch of government, the executive, nor the legislature can interpret the law. The executive is under obligation to enforce the law. For President Boyka's failure to enforce the interpretation of the Supreme Court, the chaos. That means President Boyka is a violator of the law. That means President Boyka has plunged the country into chaos. And he recklessly used the word quarrel. With all understanding that the Constitution, there are complementary provisions of the Constitution, Article 33 and Article 49, not only that, but even in Article 33, there are three thematic concerns. And those concerns tend to complement the other. And what are those concerns that we just spoke about? A majority for transaction, but the Constitution says but. You can't just go sit down one area. The lower number can compare the absentee, you majority. Until you have a speaker presiding over you, you are not a recognizable majority. Your action, the Supreme Court says, is unconstitutional. The Supreme Court recognizes the constitutional speaker. And who is that constitutional speaker? James Kofa. There's no argument about that. What Joseph Boyka coming from? I went graduate from the University of Liberia, I think 1972, with a bachelor degree. Just the two of us. The one I hope. But that is just a sad statement, President Boyka. They argue about separation of power. But guess what? They fell under the doctrine of check and balances. How can you discuss separation of powers and you don't discuss check and balances? When the legislature makes a law, and that law is unconstitutional, and somebody ran to the Supreme Court to interpret that law, the Supreme Court can interpret that legislation or render that legislation by the legislature unconstitutional. That means they can check on the legislature. That check and balances. And then what happening? That's what happening. You got oversight. The legislature has oversight on the executive. All the positions in the executive, the agencies, the entities, the legislature has oversight. The only intervention the legislature can make on the judiciary branch of government that will impeach. You can impeach a judge for misconduct. You can do that. Like check and balances again. So what's the argument about separation of power? It's a violation of the origin. They don't even understand the origin of separation of power. They don't understand the origin of check and balances and coordination. The action by President Boyka to assign state security forces, including the AFL, in disguise. Some member of the AFL, the entire AFL in disguise. The EPS, the National Police and NSA, to the regime speaker. It means the president has taken aside that interference They're not called nation by the president because there's no ruling that recognizes Richard Kun as speaker. Therefore, President Boyka cannot act. He's in error. Why not use this occasion to respond to do battle cry kids or people who under my comment talking tabata? I don't under my post. I mean talking tabata. I don't respond to little kids. Okay, when we were in the legislature, President Boyka was there, presiding over the Senate. Jeremiah Kun was my subordinate in the House of Representatives, the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. He recognizes that and respects me a lot. Okay? So when these children then talking on Facebook or on radio station calling, or you go to the party headquarters where when you go there most of the time, you can't even see two persons saying out to the gate. The security is weary and tata, you hardly pay the old security for the last 6 months. That the kind of political party case then you will be running behind responding to. No, I don't do street fight. I do intellectual political fights. I do constitutional fights. Let me say this to you. I hear people say, oh, Ellis Taro. No. Did Ellis Taro take advantage of the Supreme Court? Did the Supreme Court stop our action? Had the Supreme Court stop our action? Who has stopped? Had the Supreme Court stop our action? We have stopped. Why did they not stop our action? Oh, yes. But look at the maximum stupidity. I will not say stupidness because I don't know what they call stupidness. I know what they call stupidity. Look at the maximum stupidity. Rachel Kun, my Peking board. Rachel Kun, my Peking. Legislatively is my Peking. Rachel Kun, my Peking, went and condemned the Supreme Court action. In fact, they said the Supreme Court, no, they got no authority. My Peking, Rachel Kun. The people who said don't have authority, they came up with an interpretation. The follow interpreter, they were clear on the bill of information. Prior to that, they came up with a ruling. You said they get no authority, they can't intervene. Their ruling are trash, but you run it. What does that say about the medulla oblongata? Yeah, but a component of the brain is called medulla. What does that say about the medulla oblongata of Richard Kun and the rest of the Unity Party people who insulting mind and power, passing all around, they're insulting everyone? It says that their cognitive faculty, that thinking faculty is very low. It's very low. It's a contradiction to run back to the very Supreme Court. The court, you say they don't have authority. You will not recognize them. You will impeach them. But guess what? They are crazy boys. How can you impeach when you're unconstitutional? As soon as they put one bill of impeachment on the floor on Richard Kun, the court will just issue a stay order. The judges you want impeached, they can run grab out of the Supreme Court. They have authority. They can run grab out of the Supreme Court and issue a stay order. They will not come there. You can't impeach them. Impeachment is not removal. It's the Senate that has the authority to remove. So when somebody says, I will impeach you, you have to say, okay, I'm not confident in you, and that's set up indictment for the Senate to hear it. And who will preside as the Chief Justice? Then you say you want to impeach the Chief Justice too. Okay, let's agree, you'll go to the Senate. The Senate will never agree with you now for removal. They will chuck nothing into the dustbin. They will throw it away into the dustbin. So that's the no impeachment has no enforceability authority. That they're muffed up. The first thing your Richard Kun cannot preside over impeachment of any member of the Supreme Court bench. I heard them today, they said the Supreme Court people ask for retroactive. They want to system retroactive is legitimate. If you are to be paid, they didn't pay you. Or they reduce your pay. And you're supposed to be paid $10. And they were paying you $5. And at the end of the day, they realize they're supposed to pay you $10. They will pay you retroactively. But Allah, the day will increase the pay of the workers in the Capitol building. The day will increase it. We had to pay them retroactively. You know, also, Senate worker protesting for retroactive pay. Allah, oh, that today retroactive, Dabla, you know you're in the Senate? Oh, Dabla doesn't know she's in the Senate? Before she came to the Senate, the workers were protesting for retroactive pay. Even the lawmakers were asking for retroactive pay. But that today the Supreme Court retroactive pay, the legitimate pay, that crown, what they that coming from who made on senator, Grant McCarthy made a mistake. For you to have a senator who acting chairman for Unity Party, because the chairman for Unity Party there, he ran away. He won't be put managing director. He started for being, how do you call it, the board chairman. He ran away. Okay? The true violation of the Constitution and chaos. There were officials of government who criticized past administration of violating the code of conduct. The same officials of government today, the people who criticize, the in power today, that the same people who went to Nima to go campaign. The same government officials are chaos. The true chaos of this country is on the head of President Boyka. When I insult President Boyka, and I want to do pass around insulting President the way they are Deputy Information Minister MC Rule can be causing everybody a riot. Okay, that body MC Rule, ain't know what they call MC Rule in Liberia. MC Rule, that MC Rule, there is the head for MC Rule, that the executive branch of government MC Rule, the Deputy Minister. When you get one by that Bob, Jeremiah Pierre also ran the scene, but he ran away the same way in last chapter one of the king, he ran away. He went as I thought that they were going to give him political asylum to go to America. Yeah, he ran away. It's Bada Bob. He can send that Bob to insult the former president, including Joseph Boyka. Oh, no, insult Joseph Boyka. I insult him. I will not insult Joseph Boyka. No, it's not my nature. We will not do that. We will only school Joseph Boyka. Since he graduated from the University of Liberia in 1972, we will school him. Okay, he graduated before me. Long time. He should have known better. It's a disgrace to the country that a president of the country will not be able to read properly Article 33 of the Constitution. And Jeremiah Kun, my man, my friend, he monitoring now. Many can talk. We have spoken twice in 1 week. That Jeremiah Kun was said that in meeting with the president 2 nights ago and say the opposition, they are nothing. What kind of constitution we're talking about? Look at the Acarous chairman today talking about we ourselves were rebel before. We have a history of violence. You don't need to cut that clip. Listen to the Acarous chairman today. The media needs to cut that clip. The men boasters are coming from the belly of war. That does not represent the view of Acarous. I know that for sure. Some people from Acarous executive come in and say, what the chairman said? Listen to your chairman. It does not represent the view of Acarous. No. Acarous not here to cause chaos. Mr. Chairman, it's not what they told you. They didn't tell you so they came from the belly of war. That's not what Acarous told you. Group of Liberians got together to establish Acarous. Now you, Mr. Chairman, don't link the people to violence. Don't link Acarous to violence. Don't do that. When you want to eat your money as a member of the National Association of Money Eater need, go and eat your money. Okay? Acarous needs to condemn him. Because the statement he made today does not represent Acarous. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a few questions from you, but let me just conclude on this note. You can ask a question if you want to ask, you ask. If you don't want to ask, no problem. I don't run away from question. Okay? I don't run away from any question. But I want to say to you, and say to all of our people out there, we have tens of thousands of people around the world, hundreds of thousands of people who are listening today. The action of President Boyka not to respect the Constitution will drive away investors. Let me repeat. The action of President Boyka not to respect the Constitution will drive away investors. Because if the investors come to the country and Richard Kun ratify, next government can come to power and declare all the agreement null and void. Unity Party will not be in power 2029. After 2029, 2030 or January, 1 year will not pass by then, they have to leave. But guess what? Richard Kun can be arrested for subversion by a new government, even if he won the election as a sitting lawmaker. All those lawmakers can be arrested for subversion. Or new government is under obligation to enforce the judgment of the Supreme Court. And that government can issue through the court an arrest order for all the lawmakers. Make no mistake. Many things don't go unpunished. There was a Gaddafi before. There was a Saddam Hussein before. There was a Ben Laden before. Before you come to Liberia. There were Idi Amin before. Oh yes. There were leaders who felt they were law and gospel. The President Boyka. But guess what? They all fell down. Flat. Nobody calling for the unconstitutional removal of President Boyka. Who get time to remove your defeat to 2020 now? Nobody. Boyka man, Boyka move for you. Now you run the country good. That you don't want to worry about. The United Party is on the defensive. Group of opposition spoke, the United Party ran to respond. The reactionaries. Group of reactionaries. They fear. 17,000 votes divided us. The blue and green. Then you're making more able to say you won 14 countries out of 15. We won 14 countries out of 15 in 2017. You did get 17 to 20,000 votes divided or then you're acting ruin first care around here. United Party Popular, you go to the CDC. United Party Popular, you go to the CDC. Do you have the numbers? You have borrowed numbers. Let me tell you something today. As soon as you become ruling party in Liberia, some people can get their van and break away from you. Because of the expectation, what they want from you, a lot of things they don't get, you lie to them, you fool them, just United Party lie and fool them, just the way United Party lie and fool them, all the people gone. They don't have the gentleness here. Like in District 8 now, I can tell you today, if we don't want the lawmaker to go to work on Tuesday, I can pass an order, he will never go to work. Because that was support in District 8 than him. It was an accident in the crash of history that brought Princeton to power. A political accident that erupted. We call it a crash of history. A political accident that brought that guy to power. He only there to take it. That all, when they say there, you put in all, yes. When they say there, you put in all. That's the only thing. Every day you on a Facebook page writing about Acarous, but I fear for Acarous. That's why he's writing on it. It's a big fear for Representative Gray. That why the man everything is going patient right. Every day you're going patient right. I don't worry about you. You are a political entity. You are not in a political class of this country. A little ballroom in the corridor of power who doesn't understand what power is, what authority is. I don't waste my energy and time on him. The commenters, when I comment, we deal with him or people in the district. We handle him appropriately for lying to the people. The time will come, by 2029, we'll retire him like President Boyka. Somebody said, Acarous, you were defeated. I won twice, but I won one time. He got defeated one time. I lead him that 2-1. The men who became representative are beating him twice. Massively, that 83 votes separating us. There are 17,000 votes separating Georgia and Joseph Boyka. That they want people making more around here, running all around. Joseph Boyka was there for 2 years. They flock him. They flock him massively. Then you want to talk about beating. Somebody say you now get a moral standing to talk. But I had a moral standing to talk. President Boyka, the man who was living on loan. Who saved his life? That President Boyka saved President Boyka's life. President Boyka, after 6 years, he was looking worried and tattered. He couldn't even pay his own hospital bills. He said he was living on loan after presiding over $22 million in his budget he cannot account for. The office of the vice president under President Boyka was never audited, and talking about auditing. Does he have the moral credibility and standing? What's the argument? This is the most corrupt government in the history of the country. From the president down, they are dangerously corrupt. They are not respecters of the laws of the Republic of Liberia. They fear Gray. That's why today you journalists who went there, when they are singing the battle cry, only Acarous Gray can be in a mouth. They fear for Gray. It's Unity Party. I am a medicine man. We fought Ellen Johnson in the country for 12 years. A seasoned politician. That a limp dog president and President Boyka, whose legitimacy is questioned. That a man who want to fear people, you go there say, and when that day happen, you talking like, Boyka, you get voice, man. The voice of authority. That voice of command. You don't have a President Boyka. You don't have the voice of authority. You're talking like a joker. President Boyka, you are a joker. Let me say this to you. Let me say this to the world. President Boyka, before you begin CRC, other people were CRCs before in this country. Make no mistake to think that you have spare authority over the army, the police, the NSA, and other security apparatus, including the EPL. Make no mistake, President Boyka. Those are our brothers. Those are our friends. The day the masters decide to walk through the principal street of the Republic of Liberia, that national security you depending on, they will put the gun down to the ground. They will refuse to shoot their brothers and sisters. That's why you depending on, you're making a mistake. Even your security around you can gossip about you how you mean. Mr. President, even your security to your gate can gossip about you how you mean. Anybody that coming in here, coming outside security can tell everybody. They can gossip about you that you very mean, you only concerned about you and your family. Very mean old man. You're wearing $2,000 shoe. Everybody say, oh, the papi will not be this, oh, the papi will not be that. But look at the papi. Look at the papi. The papi 10 young boy. Yeah, papi 10 young boy. The papi will save his life like papi 10 young boy. You know the party people insulting today. You insult. Keep insulting. I am medicine man. But I can guarantee you that President Boyka, as long as you exist, Mr. President, you will never plunge this country into chaos. There will be a national constitutional resistance force living in accordance with the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia to bring you to halt. We use the laws of the Republic of Liberia. We will not revert to jungle justice. We will not revert to the days of Buto and company. No, we will not pick our arms. We use effectively the legislations of this country. We use the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. Unlike you, President Boyka, this message is for you, Mr. President. You are witnessing today, and I must warn you, you must be warned, Mr. President. You are under obligation to enforce the ruling of the Supreme Court. You have no choice. You have no extra interpretation of the Constitution because you don't have the authority to interpret the Constitution under the doctrine of separation of power. So we'll take a few questions and then we'll close. I know the UP men and I the two verses. That point on here, your institution.
Yeah, Honorable Gray, Saleh from Lata FM and TV. I had two quick questions for you. You serve as the chairman on executive in the 54th, and you did mention on the statement by quote-unquote majority black threatening to remove the speaker, to impeach the associate judge. And you've been there before, and you proffer a bill that got Mr. Cabinet Janet impeached today. And what's the difference between your own impeachment and their own impeachment? And B to that question is, do you regret your action on having launched at the University of Liberia?
Let me say this. I always said I hold no apology for the second question. I've had no apology in my lifetime for peacefully moving. It's my right under the Constitution and freedom to move. Secondly, I graduated from the University of Liberia. I did number 2TD, 890. When I was lawmaker, every year I had 100 students attending the university. In fact, I was honored by the University of Liberia Student Union for contributing towards also consistently. No student has the authority to stop someone from going on early campus. Let me repeat, the university authority wrote that in the press release. I still keeping that statement. Perhaps some of you didn't follow it on that day. The issue was statement that nobody, that what they call university, nobody can stop people from going there. They are not police officers. Okay? I graduated and I was member of the Student Democratic Alliance. In case students jump on one day, or the other political party and say no soup member who graduated from LU coming on LU campus. Some member of soup jump on one day and say Acarous can come on LU campus, then student people jump there and they start fighting. No, the grant cannot be a chaotic grant. I will tell you today, I respect the Student Unification Party, I respect the Student Democratic Alliance and all other political parties. People are still my friends who interact a lot. Okay? Politicians wanted to take advantage of that day.
but they failed to. On the issue of gender, the difference, clear. The legislature were together, the House was clear together, were not divided. The Supreme Court never told one group they're unconstitutional. Today, Richard Kuno group unconstitutional group calling for impeachment. Then you ask me for the difference, that big difference right there. Secondly, I did not remove Janet from power. Councillor Janet was removed by the Liberian Senate, dominated by the Unity Party, led by Councillor Vani Sherman and other lawyers. And I will give you a breaking news today. Probably you don't know today. Councillor Janet is fully cognizant that President Boyka supported his removal. Let me repeat, and I will tell you why. The first bill of impeachment we wrote, we withdrew the bill of impeachment. Who wrote the new bill of impeachment that we submitted? That Councillor Vani Sherman, shared with President Boyka. They were only waiting for you to go to the Senate. I will tell you why. I will tell you why the country is deep. I was concerned about the old lady in my district. That's what I was concerned about. The first bill of impeachment, I will give you a copy so you can see it. The Unity Party put the road funds. The first bill of impeachment never had the road funds. The Unity Party senators, they were part of the bill of impeachment. They withdrew the first bill of impeachment, we amended it and resubmitted it. Me and Thomas Farah. Guess what? I went the road funds in there. The Unity Party believed in the road funds was clear. The Unity Party. They believed that the road funds, because Musa ability had a company, they believed they were not paying the money. The Liberian poor money, the road funds, the Unity Party had that belief, including President Boyka. He felt that he defeated Kim from early John Seri supporting Liberty Party champions. President Boyka, that was his feeling. And Councillor Vani Sherman, the Unity Party law, the senators. That was their personal feeling if you don't know this today. They feel that the road funds were being used in 2017. But Mr. Belete and Kabina Jande had a share in our company, according to the Unity Party people. I will say that today. They feel that that money was being used to buy pickups. So the Liberty Party had a lot of logistics in 2017, pickups and other things. They felt that were the road funds. The Unity Party believe, President Boyka believe, along with Councillor Vani Sherman, that her Ellen Johnson did not support her Child Walker Bronski in the first round, or Brian, because they wanted him to even run on or Joseph Boyka as our running mate. And he did not want to run as our running mate. He felt that if President Sari had not getting involved with the Liberty Party, in fact, he used to call Liberty Party regime party. You remember? Regime collaborator. Do you remember? The Liberty Party was called regime collaborator. So they believe that road funds that President Sari issued a statement about people collecting road funds and whatsoever, instead of that money being paid to the government Republic of Liberia, the Unity Party believed that that money was being used to empower Liberty Party, and Liberty Party undermined the votes of Unity Party. So that's why when we submitted the bill of impeachment on the ODD issue, the Unity Party lawmakers, along with President Boyka, he was part of it. They hired him on the phone and he was speaking. I listened to him very well. He said our road fund issue, the only way they will support that bill of impeachment is to put the road funds issue, so I put the road fund issue in there. That's why today I want you to know President Boyka is very vindictive in whole malice against Kabina Janet. He will never pay Kabina Janet. Any argue that you are going to pay Kabina Janet, Councillor Janet? You remember Kabina Janet supported him? And Kabina Janet is going on today with him and invest. You remember the last time I listened to him say Unity Party does not even have the decency. He used the word decency. But Joseph Boyka is a very terrible man. Joseph Boyka was part of that bill of impeachment. In fact, when he went to the Senate, that Joseph Boyka called a Unity Party senator to remove Kabina Janet. That Joseph Boyka, who had the majority? Unity Party. Why Councillor Vani Sherman, who is close to Joseph Boyka, that they were fighting the hell? Why? They added two things there. And one was that issue of the road funds. And guess what? In the Senate, I want you to listen very well. All the counts who had against Councillor Janet, the Senate only voted unanimously for one that was found guilty. Even the old lady business, they didn't vote unanimously. The Oma business, that the road funds. They voted unanimously. Go to the final verdict. So you can know that the war fund had a history, and our history that Joseph Boycott. So Justice Janet is fully cognizant of that. He knows that I was concerned about the old lady business, and I was very clear, and I told him, when I see Justice Janet, he can still shake my hand, we can speak. He laughed and all with me. I'm telling you today. Every time I see him, I go and speak to him, or he sees me, he speaks to me. But guess what? I guess he cannot speak to Joseph Boycott today because probably he realized that Joseph Boycott was the one that was behind his removal in the Senate. So in the House, we don't remove, we impeach. The authority of removal lies in the Liberian Senate. And there is a deep secret I'm telling you today, it's part of my book, that Joseph Boycott was involved into the removal of Kabina Janet. You start putting the blame on Acarous Gray. I only impeached. Set up indictment, went to the Senate, and Senate removed him. Who removed him? What are removing on? The rule form, go to the verdict. The United Party people will start calling to. There's a big news for the media today. President Boycott will now forgive Kabina Janet Musa Belete. President Boycott has swear, I want to tell you today, that Musa Belete will now become Speaker or Deputy Speaker as long as he's President of the Republic of Liberia. He has said that. Let me repeat. President Boycott has said that Musa Belete will now become Speaker or Deputy Speaker of the Republic of Liberia. He will do everything to fight him. So that you are hearing this, some people say, oh, they will make Musa Belete Deputy Speaker. President Boycott is on record in fight. President Boycott is also on record. Group of lawmakers visited him. You know, he told them, he said, I will destroy the CDC. Months ago, and we said it. He said, Boycott, you can't destroy the CDC. Your former boss, President Sali, did not destroy the CDC. We fought in battles as junior soldiers on the front line. Now we are seniors. President Boycott, you are a joker. You're joking. You tell President Boycott saying joking cannot destroy the CDC. You fought all the way to take our headquarters. You send police people out there to beat on our people. President Boycott, you are making a mistake. Their country's sovereignty, the judicial system, the rule of law will be protected with blood, sweat, and tears. Will not go on the front line to pick up arms. There will be no armed struggle in our country. We'll use the Constitution effectively. That's what we do. That today, United Party affair of protest, that they crying baby. Look at that, they call meeting on their party ground. They couldn't even get more than 20 people there sitting in our United Party in. Because the children are hungry, they laugh for the children. Go into the community, talk to the marketers, talk to the Nyana board, talk to the Board of Sackler and other people. The people advance for the government. The United Party will corporate conference today. That I play, look, Buja have a dollar rally, go by. Buja and that's a dollar rally, the whole place was down. The singular political party in this country, we don't recognize it, that has the authority today, will decide who is the president. We are. Tuesday, we're going to the legislature. Please join us. The whole country will march behind. If we have election tomorrow morning, the United Party will be massively defeated. They have lost legitimacy. They have no authority. So I just think the last question was we can close.
Yeah. No question.
Okay, no question. Let me just close. Let me say to everyone, the peace and stability of this country will be protected. Nobody wants to plunge this country into chaos beside President Boycott. President Boycott is reading the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, that Liberian will say in the cliche upside down. The Minister of Justice is the most reckless man in terms of interpreting the laws of the Republic of Liberia. The legal advisor to the president is a problem. Kofi Woods is a disgrace to the Republic of Liberia. This is the man who advocated most for respect for the rule of law, human rights protection. Kofi Woods, Alaric Topa is the chairman of governance and went to jail to Belayara for fighting for the rule of law. Alaric Topa. And when Belayara in prison, he was flogged for standing up against dictators. He in the government as the chairman of governance. He illegally occupied that position because it's a tenure position. Illegally. Kofi Woods. But guess what? You can hear them talking. They are mouth closed. They shut their mouth. for small money business. They show their integrity. That the children will say in wheelbarrow, their bearers are in wheelbarrows, passing around. That Kofi Woods today will be national security advisor. Kofi Woods can talk. That Gafan, who served as student leader, my best minister in this government yet. I like him a lot. But you can't talk to the Gafan. It's not the Augustine Pay Gafan. Power has a way of changing those who advocate their years. Gafan, do you know where Gafan? Former student leader of the University of Liberia. But guess what? Gafan, you can't talk. I don't blame people like Jeremiah Kun. Jeremiah Kun, that money been that boy let money been that all he done there for. Okay, so I don't blame him. He let money been. Okay, Joseph Boy, I can remember a lot of things again. So Joseph Boy got memory chip now like Jeremiah Kun. You can remember a lot of things. You can just talk because you want to talk with all enforcement. So again, to our many listeners, our brothers, our sisters, whether you're from the Unity Party, the CDC, or any political parties in Liberia, we want to reaffirm, and we are reaffirming today, we want to reaffirm our commitment to respect for the rule of law. This country will never go into flame, will never go into chaos. It's President Boyka who was pushing this country into chaos for disrespect. And at least we open the classroom today to understand what is separation of powers, what happens to be check and balances in the governance process, the responsibility of the three branches of government. And Richard Kun, I want to tell you, you not speak up. Don't make mistake, Richard Kun, the day are driving, they travel your car, passing upon my car in front of your car. Because you not speak up. You should not enjoy those amenities. You Richard Kun, let me tell you, my picking. Okay, Jeremiah Kun, my picking. You two, my picking. You know that. I'm talking to you, Richard Kun. You know you my picking, and I brought you all in the legislature. Okay. Power now set in your head. I'm surprised that you carrying Steve Bender and whatsoever the whole lock door to that place there. Richard Kun, what made you violent so? Picking, you never used to be like that. What kind of power in your head so? I will warn you. I'm warning you. Don't put in a running behind you, picking. They're fooling you. I want to tell something here, picking. The thing you never used to do, stop doing it. Don't let my dad come out and other people then be advising you. Picking, stop it. You still like it. I wanted my picking Richard Kun because I'm picking there. That boy could be arrested. Okay? New government kind of power, they could put that boy in handcuffs for violating the laws of the country and all other lawmakers. I want you to know, you guys could get arrested. Okay? By a new executive in power. Joseph Boyka will be too old to walk by 2029. I'm telling you. That Jeremiah Kun will flog in the market door. In fact, what Gafon will say that Jeremiah Kun become stand up in Unity Party. Jeremiah Kun, what operation are also at Unity Party now? You're looking for vast stand up also at Unity Party. He ain't concerned about Unity, so Unity Party will just send their party to people who don't have a history of the party. Jeremiah Kun ain't got no history. I just think you only be on 1 or 2 posts in there. Even Prince Moina said that you run a bar running me. Because they say Nimba and Bon County connected. Okay. I don't want to talk too much. Those rogues, then they are fighting to go over because they want to control that budget and thief that rogues. That's what they want. But we'll reach that level. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. My man, Unity Party.